guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get right into today's video. In my previous video, I was trying out the Jello peel off base coat, and as you guys can see, my nails are starting to come off, and it's only been about a week, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take them all off with the 1 kill remover. I'm applying just a little bit to my cuticle area and underneath to safely remove the nails. Let it absorb a little and work its magic. I'm going to be using this pointy end of my cuticle pusher to kind of tug at a corner and lift up the nail. Try not to force this off, and if it doesn't come off very easily, you can add a little bit more of the 1 kill remover and that should help. I'm quite surprised that the retention wasn't as long lasting as I would have hoped for. If you haven't seen my last video, I did my full prep routine, which included a dehydrator and primer before applying this base gel, which is supposed to help it last 1 to 3 weeks allegedly, but since then they've kind of just been popping off my nails. I would apply a fresh coat of the Jello to the nail that popped off and then reapply the nail on top of it with some nail glue just to make it last longer. I have a feeling that my prep wasn't done correctly, or maybe I just need to use some better products. I've heard tremendously good things about this base gel, and I really want it to work for me. But regardless of how well the retention is, I will keep using this base gel regularly because this is actually the first base gel I've ever tried that completely removes my polygel nails damage-free, which I really appreciate. I've tried other base gels and they just haven't worked as well as this one. With the others, my polygel nails would stick too well to my natural nails and it wouldn't pop off. So like I said, I'm gonna keep trying it and hope that it works out for me, and if it doesn't, it'll still be fine and I'll still use this for content creation. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna tell you about what we're gonna be doing today. I saw this really cute nail set on Instagram. This nail set is just so lovely, so I wanted to try and create it today. I'm gonna use my own interpretations of what I think would work well. I won't be copying it exactly like the one in the picture. I am going to do it a little bit differently and exactly how I want it. Now without further ado, let's get right on with the prep. I'm starting by using the Sally Hansen cuticle remover, and I'm going to apply some onto the cuticle area, waiting 15 seconds for the cuticles to soften, and then I'm pushing them back gently with my cuticle pusher. And after pushing them back, you're going to want to wash your hands with warm soapy water to remove all of the product. And I like to go in with the pointy end and further scrape off as much dead cuticle as I can off the nail plate. You definitely don't want any cuticle left on your nails because this would cause bad retention. Then I'm trimming down my natural nails with just a pair of nail clippers. With a fine grit buffing block, I'm going to etch the entire surface of my nail beds to remove all oils and shine. Then using acetone on a lint-free wipe to remove all of the oils and dust from my nails. I decided to skip the primer, and I'm going to just try using the Jello peel off base coat because I'm very curious to see how long this set can last without it. I'm not expecting it to last for longer than 2 weeks, so I was okay if it did pop off earlier, but if it does last longer, I will be very surprised, and of course I will keep you guys updated in my next video. I'll be using full cover nail tips today. These are some long stiletto nail tips I got from Amazon. I'll have them linked down below for you guys, and I'm going to size out each nail and make sure that they fit my nails perfectly from sidewall to sidewall. I have all of my correct sizes now, and I'll just quickly show you guys the glue I'll be using today. This one is new and it's from Modelones. I've never tried it before, so we're going to be trying it together. Before gluing the tips on, I'll etch the inside of the tips where it meets the cuticle area with my nail drill. These specific nail tips are already pre-etched, but I really wanted to give them the best chance they've got with the Jello. You can do this at around 5,000 RPM. With my nail glue, I'll coat the etched area of my nail tip and add a little bit of extra at the bottom. Press the tip down at a 45-degree angle and then slowly apply pressure forward until you see the gel fill all the way up to the very tip of your natural nail. Then flash cure it in place for at least 15 seconds. I'm actually doing the overlay method today, which is essentially leaving a gap between the nail tip and the cuticle and using a builder gel to fill in the gap later on. Once all the nail tips are glued on, give the nails a full cure in a big lamp for 60 to 90 seconds to make sure that gel is fully cured. Now that my tips have been laid, I'll clip the numbers off at the bottom. Because I'm going to go for a long almond shape, I always use stiletto nail tips over square and coffin to create my almonds. I just think it works the best. And gently filing the edges with a hand file, I like to use a 180 grit to give me more control over the shaping and prevent over-filing. Gently blend the false tip to the natural nail with a 180 grit sanding band. This step is very necessary if you want to achieve a seamless and smooth look. I'm continuously going over the tip from left to right until I see that the tip is laying flush with the nail. With the same buffing block from earlier, I'm lightly buffing the surface of my nail tips to remove the shine. Then lastly, I'm using a small nail brush to swipe a small amount of acetone across the cuticle area to seal them in. You'll know if you've blended the tips enough with the sanding band at this step. It should look seamless and look like you can't even tell where the natural nail meets the nail extension, and it's just so satisfying. It's actually my favorite step. Now overlay the nails with a builder gel. The way I do this is by adding a thin coat of builder gel all over the entire surface. This will be my slip layer, and you do not want to cure this. This is going to be like a guide to where your builder gel is going to flow, and then with a builder gel bead, I'll slide the gel from side to side across the nail all the way down to the tip. Once all the product has been dispersed down, I'll immediately flip the nail and let it self-level. It could take around 30 seconds to a minute for it to fully self-level. In the meantime, I'll also take a small liner brush and move the gel around if needed to perfect the shape. Do the glare check first to make sure that it's not lumpy or uneven, and then give it a full cure in a big lamp for 60 to 90 seconds once you're happy with it. I'll repeat the same process onto each nail separately, adding a thin layer, swiping a bead of product from side to side, and then flipping it over and curing it fully. These are my nails after applying the builder gel. Alright, going in with the base coat from D&D in the shade How Do You Neutral. This is a new addition to my collection. I bought this with my own money, but I've just gotta say that I'm currently loving their sheer gel polish collection. Like, I need all of the sheer shades right now. I added 3 layers of this gel because I wanted more of an opaque jelly look, and I only coated half of my thumb and pinky and fully coated the other nails on my left hand. Just make sure that you ombre the sheer gel polish in between layers to ensure that it looks nicely blended in the end, and you're good to go. I repeated this process on my right hand and fully coated all the nails except for the ring finger. I only coated half of it and blended it again with an ombre brush. With a light pink gel polish, I'm using this one called Chic Rose from Madame Glam. I'm painting a round French with a 20mm liner brush. This gel polish was so pigmented. I only did one coat and it worked amazing. Does anyone else freehand their Frenchies like this and just hope that the smile line comes out correctly? I've been doing Frenchies so much that I just draw a horizontal line across the nail and then just jump straight into painting the smile line. There's definitely more ways to do a French, but this is like my go-to and it's what I feel most comfortable doing. This next step will involve this sponge tool. Basically, we're going to be doing a white simple ombre. I'm painting a thin coat of the polish on half of the ring fingernail and blending it into the sheer new jelly with my ombre brush. You can also add a little bit of acetone to your ombre brush and this will help blend it out a little bit more easily. I then fully cured it for 60 seconds in a big lamp and I added a thin coat of the sheer new jelly from D&D on top, blended that into the white and cured it again for another 60 seconds. Then I'm using that sponging tool from earlier to lightly sponge on the white gel polish on top. Just be careful to not get any on the skin, and if you do, you're going to want to wipe it off immediately with some acetone before curing the nail. I repeated these exact same steps on my pinky nail as well, and I tried to blend that in as seamlessly as I could. And then instead of using the white, I switched to the Chic Rose gel polish from earlier, the same one I used to paint the French, and I used that to ombre on my thumb, adding another layer of the D&D's How Do You Neutral and blending that in right on top, and then carefully sponging the gel polish on both nails just to give it more of an airbrush finish. With Chic Rose, I created a second French on my pointer finger. Again, I'm using a 20mm liner brush and painting the smile line before filling it in. I think this color is just near perfect and it's almost like a match to the one in the photo, and I think it complements D&D's sheer jelly polish so well. It's also very creamy and highly pigmented, which is the best option for Frenchies. Here's what my base is looking like before adding textures and 3D designs, and it's all looking so good so far. For my 3D designs, I'll be integrating these two nail extension gels from Born Pretty. 01 on the left is clear and 02 on the right is white. If you're able to, I highly recommend using gloves to handle these solid gels. Just like any other gel product, these are uncured and you may become susceptible to having an allergic reaction to them if you choose to handle them with no protection. I also recommend cleaning and sanitizing the areas that you are working on after handling these gels to avoid cross-contamination. If you handle any gel product with caution and care, you'll be fine. I'm using the back of my cuticle pusher to scoop up a large bead of clear gel and rolling it into a ball with my fingers before placing it onto a disposable nail palette. Then I'm rolling it out as thinly as I can and cutting it up into smaller pieces. I needed about 8 of them in total. You can also use a portion of the table, or I like to use the back of this container sometimes if you don't have disposable papers like this. Again, just make sure that you're sanitizing the surface that the gel has come into contact with afterwards. I'm placing 4 beads on my pointer finger all at the same time and pressing each bead down multiple times towards the center until the petals are dispersed enough. I try to make it as large and as centered as possible, with the top petals being more dispersed than the edge petals. And on the outer edges of the petals, I'm tucking the gel back in just to add some dimension. Once you like the shape of the petals, cure them in place for 60 to 90 seconds in a big lamp. I switched out my glove and got a brand new glove to work with my non-dominant hand, and I repeated these exact same steps to create the other flower. With the white nonstick gel, I'm separating these into even smaller pieces, and these beads of gel will be used to create small flowers and butterflies. In total, I think I created about 13 pieces. So again, I'm using my cuticle pusher to pick up a large bead, placing it on top of my nail palette and rolling it out thinly with my fingers. After it's thinned out, you can cut it into small bits and form them into balls. I think in total I made about 13 or so, but I'm not entirely sure. Moving on with the thumb, I'm placing 2 larger beads of gel on the edge of my nail bed and pressing the center down as if I'm creating 2 flower petals. I'm also tucking the gel on these corners and sort of winging it out into the shape of a butterfly. Then with 2 smaller beads, I just took one of the beads that were the size of the first 2 and split it into 2. I'm placing those underneath and repeating the same process, and this will just complete the wings. Moving on to the pinky, we're sort of doing the same thing except with 5 beads because we're going to be creating a small flower instead. I found that using smaller beads were easier for this one, especially since it's on such a small nail and there's not a lot of room to work on. I cured the nail every 1 to 2 beads to avoid any mishaps. I adore these little gel details above the glass part of the nail. I think it's so cute and it pairs so nicely. I also made another butterfly with the leftover extension gel on my palette, right onto the ring finger of my dominant hand. Next, I'm using a dark rustic pink gel polish. This one is called Vintage Pink and it's from Madame Glam, and I'll be using it to add some final small details to help complement and enhance the design. Starting with a 20mm liner brush again and creating lines and strokes within the glass flower and doing my best to make them look vein-like. Don't worry if your gel goes too much past the flower and you kind of go out of bounds, because all you need to do is take a brush dipped in acetone and swipe it against your design and it'll look just right intact. Then I'm switching to a dotting tool and I skip to the French and quickly dotted on 2 full rows, then 1 at the bottom and 2 on the edges wherever I saw fit, and I'm just sort of making like a uniform polka dot pattern. And then I went back to the flower and I added a few teeny tiny dots as well. Repeat the process on the opposite hand, just so that they match on both the French and the glass flower. The last step for this design is to complete the 3D strokes, and I'll be using my trusty rhinestone glue from a cart and a medium liner brush. Rhinestone glue is basically like a thick, usually clear gel that you can use to adhere charms or gems onto the nail, and it also works great for 3D art. Pick up a small bead of rhinestone gel on your brush and lightly swipe the bead across the nail in whichever direction you wish. You're going to want to flash cure the gel in place between each bead because this gel can start to run a little if left uncured for too long. So just make sure that you give the gel a quick flash cure once you're happy with how it looks. With the fringe, I created a seashell pattern with the rhinestone glue and did 5 strokes all meeting towards the center of the smile line. Again, I'm picking up a bead of product and gently swiping it towards the smile line, flash curing once I'm satisfied with how it looks, and then moving on to the next bead. This design is super popular and I think it's just one of my favorite designs to do on a fringe. It's super easy once you get the hang of it. On my ring finger, I made 4 streaks. 2 on top above where the white ombre starts, and then 2 underneath on top of the white, and they both met down towards the center. Lastly, on my pinky, I repeated the same design I had on my thumb. I added some no wipe top coat onto my thumb to lock in the design and added 2 small caviar beads in the center. Give that a full cure in a big lamp, then top coat the other nails including the flowers and all the 3D designs. Add a little bit of rhinestone glue in the center of the flower and in the middle of the smile line on the French, and place a few pearls to complete the design. In the original photo, a bigger pearl was used for this step, but I only had these small ones, so I just decided to make them work. I pretty much repeated the exact same steps on the other hand for all the nails except for the thumb. I basically made 6 strokes ever so slightly curving them in different directions, and each stroke all sort of met up at this edge, but I had to leave a little bit of room there because that's where the pearl heart was supposed to go. I don't have a pearl heart, so I ended up using these little caviar beads and sort of placed them in the shape of a heart, but I think a pearl heart would have looked so cute right there. And again, everything else is pretty much the same from here, if not repeats of the other nails. I finished off this hand with the caviar beads and pearls, placing them on top of the French, the butterfly, and the flower, and I thought it turned out really cute. The 3D strokes were actually really satisfying to do, and surprisingly, I found them easier to do than the flowers and the butterflies. I'm actually really proud of how these came out. And I'm going to add a little bit of my favorite cuticle oil from Blossom to help hydrate my nails. This one smells exactly like rose, and I love how it has these little flowers in the glass bottle. I need all of their scents. I must say that these nails are so far one of my all-time favorite sets. I got so many compliments on these nails when I was in LA. Overall, I love the colors and the glass aspect of the ombre nails. Make sure that you guys check out the original creator's account on Instagram. Her work is incredibly beautiful. I'll have the details down below in the description box, as well as all the products I used today in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial, and I hope you guys found it helpful. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one.